live stat. Welcome in as we take you live from the historic Rose Hill Gym on the campus of Fordham University. Fordham women's basketball coming off 3 straight wins, looking to make it a 4th as the traveling Sharks of Long Island University come into town. Hailing not too far from the Northeast Conference, I'm Chris Carrino, joined by my partner Ben Oppenheimer. Ben, Fordham Rams have been playing really well, including a pair of road wins in their last 2 outings.
Well, it's great to be here with you, Chris. And last time we called a game together was at Seton Hall, and this is certainly a different team, a different character to this team than what we saw a few weeks ago. They've had great defense all season, but now they've turned that defense into offense, especially starting off with that win, that powerful offensive performance versus Siena. Now they're rolling.
A opening tip goes to Long Island University. They go left to right in their away yellow uniforms. In the middle of the paint, Varga sends it out to the left corner. It's good from mid-range. Impressive shot there from Segura, and LIU's on the board. Aaliyah Ferguson bringing it up for the Rams. Rams going right to left in their home white uniforms. Rose Nelson has it on the left wing, going right around to Mora's screen. To Berry in the right wing, down on the right block to Mora, backing down her opponent, spinning right inside and finishing with the left hand.
Well, that's a nice play for Mora there, and we know her ability to muscle down inside and get the shot she wants.
Gathering on the right wing, back in between the circles to Varga. Varga deep on the right wing to Williams. Back to Denise. Dennis in the left wing, pump fake, then a jumper taken no good, nothing but air from Varga, and the Fordham offense coming the other way. Ferguson tried to get it in the right corner to Donaldson, it's stolen. Sharks moving the other way. Pass in the right corner, and a mid-range jumper is good. Mid-range jumper from Serviva Legions, and the LIU Sharks have a 4-2 lead.
LIU taking advantage of the steal in that situation, and the chaos just went their way.
That's going to be an offensive foul, an illegal pick from Rose Nelson, and the Sharks are going to get it back.
Yeah, so what's characteristic of this team, a lot of games, Chris, what I've seen is their starts are a bit frantic, a bit chaotic. It takes them a while to calm down and settle into things, but when they do, they usually lock in, particularly on the defensive end, try to limit the turnovers, and also move the ball around offensively, get open looks, Taylor Donaldson, as well as Mora inside.
It's Varga bringing it up for LIU. In the right wing, a little miscommunication with Legions. Now drifts back to between the circles. Crossing over left to right. Driving through the right side of the paint. Pass in the right corner. Some dribbles from Williams. Kicks it back out in the right corner. That 3. No good off the right side of the rim from Segura. Fordham secures a defensive rebound. having some trouble with it. Taylor Donaldson eventually needs to pass it ahead. Gets it across half court, decides not to pass, and it's a 10-second violation. Great defense in the backcourt from LIU, and they forced the Fordham turnover.
Well, if you're Coach Mitchell, you're not pleased right now. I mean, LIU just taking advantage of the sloppy play from Fordham, and especially just bringing the ball up the court. When the press is taking advantage of you like that, you just have to pass it, make a smart pass over the half-court line, just get it over and stop wasting time. A wasted possession for Fordham, that's to be sure.
Segura inbounds it at center court. Now Legions has it on the right wing, pass in the right corner. Varga drifting over to the right wing. Now pass in the right corner. Williams, she'll take a three. Toilet bowl's out, no good. Taya Davis gets a defensive rebound, pushing it for the Fordham offense. Ahead to Taylor Donaldson. She takes the right elbow floater, no good. Trying to fight for the offensive rebound. Taylor Donaldson forces a jump ball. Stays here with the Rams.
Well, right now, you just need to slow the game down a little bit. And,
Truly.
And really just, as I said, get into a groove. And when you get through the first quarter, obviously you're going to get through some adversity sometimes, opening out games, but it's about how you finish the quarter, I believe, more than how you start.
4-2 LIU leads the Fordham Rams, 7:38 to go in this first quarter. It's the Rams inbounding it under their own basket. Pass to Shea Harris in the right corner, pump fake, jab step, and drifts out, pass to Taya Davis, top of the arc. Drives left side of the lane, pass back out Taylor Donaldson, left wing. Long pass to Renee Moore in the right corner. She drives middle of the paint, spins right, pass back out to Donaldson. Right three, her three is good. Taylor Donaldson right at the end of the shot clock hits a big three for the Rams.
So that's a great possession by Taylor Donaldson, just showing her talent there, but you could have gotten a better shot on that one.
Varga, nice pass to Dennis at the free throw line. Her mid-ranger is no good. Fordham Rams move the other way. Shea Harris has it on the left wing, stops behind the three-point line, takes the mid-ranger, a step inside, no good. Offensive rebound by Antoine, the putback is good.
Great offensive rebounding there from Fordham, and that's what's been a strong suit for them in these games they've won. Not only defense, which we know they're strong on, but rebounding, so essential to keeping the ball in play.
Janessa Williams on the left wing, pass in the left corner, no good on her three from Varga. She hit side of the backboard. It's now Shea Harris and the Rams moving the other way. She drives all the way through the left side of the lane, dump off pass on the right block to Carissa Antoine, and she finishes it off. Green Haynes, head coach of LIU, needs to talk it over.
Well, that was a beautiful possession there, getting out in transition, getting ahead of this LIU team and making the smart pass inside. A little bit of some chaos that we've seen to start out this game, but it appears that they may be settling into themselves, into a groove. And, you know, defense, as we noted, has been where Fordham shines the most. But in these games that you've seen yourself, Chris, you know, at Yale, at Stony Brook, really their offense has looked so cohesive, particularly in transition, just getting those quick and easy buckets, but also getting the open looks, moving it around so Taylor Donaldson, Mora can get inside, get what they want, and that spacing is so vital. It's what is freeing up this offense in a way that we didn't see when we called that game at Seton Hall. Very stagnant, kind of fragmented, stiff, maybe is the right word, and I certainly sense a lot less of a stiffness and more of a free-flowing atmosphere to this offense, which is just opening everything up.
Carissa Antoine leads Fordham and the game with 4 points so far. She's seeing some major minutes here in the first quarter. Coach Brissette Mitchell maybe shaking up some of the rotations right now. How do you feel about that? And just overall, with Coach Brissette Mitchell experimenting in a game like this, what could this do for their future heading into the rest of their non-conference schedule?
Well, look, I mean, they're heading out to California in 13 games. It's the last game at home before the start of conference play in January, and this is the perfect time to kind of experiment. Don't be afraid to think outside of the box if you're Coach Mitchell right now, and that's a great thing, just to retool and see what works, not only for those games in California, but also particularly when you look at their schedule in conference play. You know, looking at right now, they're 4 for 6 from the field, 66% overall, and then they've made 1 3 so far. Playing solid defense, LIU has not made a 3. So if you're thinking about how this rotation has played, when you have Antoine out there, I don't see why that's hurt them in any way to shake things up, and sometimes that's what you need. And it certainly is not hurting them right now, Chris.
And Ben, when you look at the rebound category, 7 Fordham rebounds to LIU 0. We talked about rebounding this Fordham team in their last 3 games during the win streak, out-rebounding their opponents by at least 7 rebounds a game. We could see it already starting at the early part of this game. They want to dominate that portion of the game.
Absolutely, and they have to. They should. That should be the mentality. There's a quote that's often said in basketball, defense wins championships. Well, I believe that's true, but why not rebounding wins championships? Or if not championships, at least games. Rebounding so essential. And you look at the offensive rebounding, 2-0 already in Fordham's favor. And then defensive rebounding, obviously there's been much more of that. It's a more common thing to get a defensive rebound. But overall, the effort from Fordham has been great. The one flaw has been, can they slow it down at points? Can they keep it under control? If they can, keep it under control, still rebound, still get the open shots, still pass the ball in transition, make those smart plays. They look unstoppable right now.
Last 3 games for the Fordham Rams, averaging 75 points per game, 21.7 scoring margin average in those 3 games. 7.7 more rebounds than their opponent in each of those games by, on average, just short of 50% from the field. An efficient stretch for the Rams. LIU comes out of the timeout with the ball. They get it into the front court. It's Legions taking the right corner mid-ranger, no good. Defensive rebound, Taylor Donaldson. Donaldson bringing it up for the Rams, driving all the way through the left side of the lane, putting up a left-handed layup, no good. LIU moving with speed the other way. Legions, 2-on-1 fast break. She finishes with a right-handed layup.
Well, Legions can certainly hurt you. She was the NEC Player of the Week.
Pass to Shea Harris, top of the arc. She stops, picks up her dribble, back to Taya Davis, right wing, goes left around a Moore screen, now moving through the left side of the lane, pass in the left corner, that 3 attempt, no good, off side rim from Taylor Donaldson, LIU rebounds.
And I should note that Taya Davis is close to getting 500 career points.
Legion drab step right, drives left into the lane, blocked on her jumper, and it's going to be out of bounds off the Sharks, going back toward Fordham. Good defensive possession for the Rams.
Another smart defensive possession. You like what you see out there, and also even the moments in transition where it's a missed layup, you still have to admire them getting out and making that effort to just get an easy 2.
Taya Davis has it for the Ram offense on the left wing, going right around a Wilson Salto screen to Carissa Antoine, right wing, to Taylor Donaldson, right to her right. She passes it downstairs to Antoine. Antoine gathers on the baseline, pass inside to Wilson Saltos, and a travel called on Carissa Antoine. Couldn't quite keep her feet down before the pass attempt, and it's going to be a turnover for the Rams.
Well, a little bit of a mistake there, obviously, and that's one thing. This team is very young, and they can often make mistakes, rookie mistakes, I should say. A lot of freshmen on this team, and you just have to stay poised and under control, and the only way you get better is through more playing time.
And that ball stolen at midcourt from Taylor Donaldson. Euro step at the rim and a finish. Taylor Donaldson doing it on both ends there.
That was beautiful. Gorgeous. Defense to offense. The Euro step.
Brianna Mead playing it up top. Tried to get a bounce pass downstairs. Segura tried to get it all the way down to Dennis. Couldn't quite get it to her. Falls out of bounds. Another LIU Sharks offensive turnover. Yeah,
the turnovers right now just killing them. You know, they're also not shooting well from the field for LIU. They're shooting 30%, 3 for 10 so far.
Kayla Berry has it top of the arc to Taya Davis deep on the right wing, crosses over left to right, drives into the lane, and a travel call once again on the Fordham Rams. More turnovers for Coach Bridgette Mitchell's offense.
Well, at that point, sometimes you have to wonder, do you take a player out, give them a little rest on the bench to reorient themselves? Sometimes it can just be nerves when you turn the ball over or just a simple mistake. Oftentimes, what I believe is turnovers are not a sign of a lack of effort, but really a lack of concentration.
Williams playing it ahead to Segura, getting across half court. Another cross court pass to Williams. Passes it to Varga, who will settle with it on the Fordham strip logo. To Legions deep on the right wing. Legions to Varga. Varga in the right corner to Williams. Her 3 is good. Janessa Williams, the sophomore, knocking it down. She brings LIU within 2. 11-9, 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. And an LIU steal They got the ball, couldn't quite hold on to it. It falls out of bounds. It'll stay with the Rams. Rams getting a break on the offensive end.
Yes, and I do want to note, as you mentioned, for Williams, Chris, she leads this team about tied with Legions in scoring, but right now she leads this team in scoring, and she's absolutely a weapon that can hurt you offensively.
Taya Davis drifting to the right wing. Pass up top, Shea Harris. Straight on three. No good off back iron. Rebound, Giles Jones under the basket. Her putback attempt, no good. And a foul under the basket. It'll go on Fordham as LIU gathered the defensive rebound, and they'll have it in the backcourt.
Well, credit to Fordham for getting the offensive rebound on that one, but didn't execute it the right way, as LIU is taking advantage of these turnovers, these fouls, these stops in play that are hurting the Rams' momentum right now.
Rams defense in a full court press, trying to make it hard on the Sharks offense. Sharks get it up ahead to Legion. She'll take a wide open right wing three, no good. Off back iron. A fight for the defensive rebound, falls all the way out to the backcourt. Legion seemingly the last one to touch it. It'll be out of bounds, and Fordham will have it under their basket on the baseline.
That was great hustle there. Just chasing after it and making sure that they got the last laugh, and now Fordham's going to inbound.
Shea Harris gets it on the inbound. Pass to Taya Davis on the left wing. Pass into Omashola in the left post. Misses. Swirls around the rim on her right skyhook attempt. Couldn't quite get it to go. LIU moving offensively the other way. Varga bringing it up once again, directing her offense. Calling for Segura up top to Legions on the right wing. Jab step right. Fake jab step right. Now drives right. Crosses over left. In the paint. Takes the jumper. No good off front rim for Vargas. Rebound, Omashola plays it up ahead to Taya Davis. She's moving fast through transition. Bounce pass on the right block. Couldn't quite get the layup to go for Harris. Now LIU moving the other way. Crazy pace right now. Pull-up jumper in transition. No good off back iron for Segura. That one was at the right elbow. And Segura getting a hand on it as Taya Davis tried to get it into the front court. It'll be out of bounds. Fordham will hold on to it in the backcourt.
Well, you mentioned the crazy pace right now, Chris, and that's really the simple way to describe it. They just need to get it under control. Nothing wrong with playing fast, but you have to be smart if you're going to play fast.
Taya Davis has it up top. Pass to Taylor Donaldson, right wing. Back to Taya Davis. Both looking inside. Gives it to Kayla Berry on the right sideline. No good on her shot attempt, but she'll get fouled on the way. She'll go to the line for two. The Seton Hall transfer.
There we go. We've seen some instances of Big Ten to A10, or Big East, excuse me, not Big Ten.
Kayla Berry taking her first free throw attempt. It's good. Kayla Berry, 82% from the line this year. Efficient from the field as well, over 50% from the field, 54%. Around 5 points per game on 4 rebounds per game. She has taken a step this season as she makes the second as well. Gives Fordham a 4-point lead, 13-9, 2:29 to go in this first quarter. Janessa Williams will get it across half court for the LIU offense. Varga will receive it in the left wing. She'll take a three. No good. Air ball short of the rim. Rebound under the basket from Cheryl. She passes it back out. No good on that. Mid-range attempt on the sideline. Segura hits the side of the backboard once again, and the Fordham offense will take over.
Well, you saw Berry run on that one, tried to take a gamble and get the steal, and that can be very dangerous because you leave them wide open. And for Fordham, they got a lucky break. No points for LIU on that possession, but ideally you always want to stay in front of your defender. You only steal unless you see a obvious opportunity, and you don't want to take extreme risks.
Pass to Taylor Donaldson deep on the left wing to Taya Davis on the right wing. Back to Taylor Donaldson to Rose Nelson on the right elbow. Kick out. Left corner, Taylor Donaldson. She hits a three. Taylor Donaldson, vintage TD. Varga on the left wing, tries to pass it up ahead, top of the key. It's almost stolen by Taya Davis, regathered by Williams. Williams has it, middle of the Fordham script logo, center court. Crossing left to right, driving through the right side of the lane, pass in the right corner. That three, no good offside rim for Jenison Williams. Both teams wrestling for it on the ground, ends up getting gathered by Taylor Donaldson. She plays it up ahead to Taya Davis. She finishes in transition. It'll be an offensive foul. Taya Davis bumping the defender on the way to the bucket, and it'll go back to LIU.
Well, great effort there from Fordham to keep the ball in play, but then Davis a little too strong in transition. You know, it's an art of finesse and trying to draw a foul, and you also have to give credit to the opposing defender for sacrificing their body on that one.
Brianna Mead to Lesions on the right wing, drifting over center court, back to Mead. Now in the right corner, Glenn no good offside rim, rebound Antoine. Fordham now moving the other way offensively. Taya Davis has it for the Rams, crosses over left to right, drives to the right side of the lane, no good, gets her own attempt. Back out to Rose Nelson, top of the key. To Taya Davis, she'll gather it back again. Directing her offense, dribble handoff, Taylor Donaldson. She'll take the quick three from the right wing, no good. Offensive rebound, Precious Omashola. She'll fight inside, no good on the right-handed skyhook. Antoine on the second attempt finishes under the basket.
Excellent effort there, refusing to give up, keeping it in play, getting the bucket inside for two.
To Lesions on the left wing, guarded by Carissa Antoine. Back to Mead. Mead has it between the circles. Lesions to Mead, left corner, picked up by Antoine, inside at the free throw line. Trying to drive inside, Omashola with a really good shot, I would say, contesting there. Dennis tried to get inside, a foul called. It'll be taken out under the basket from the Sharks.
Yeah, just so much intensity back and forth so far. A lot of jump balls and offensive fouls.
Pass to Lesions, under the basket from the inbound, back to Mead, her right corner three, it's good! Mead off the inbound, gets it back and hits the big right corner three. Three-quarter heave, in and out for Ferguson, and that'll end this pretty, I would say, eventful first quarter for the Sharks and the Rams. The Fordham Rams lead the Long Island University Sharks 18-12 after the first quarter.
Well, certainly a fast-paced game so far, and there's things to like if you're Fordham. Of course, they're up 18-12, and really I think the story pointing towards that is they're continuing to keep the ball in play even after misses on the shot. They're out rebounding LIU 18-6, Chris, and then offensive rebounding in particular 5-1. That's the story of the game right there. But the reason that it is this close, it's only a 6-point lead, is that Fordham has 6 turnovers, LIU only has 2. And then also you look at the shooting, definitely could be better at 41% for Fordham, could be playing more efficiently, but LIU only shooting 26.
18-12, the Fordham Rams lead the Long Island Sharks. After the first quarter, we'll get you set with action from the rest of the first half. But first, we're going to send it to the Rose Hill Studios for the one-on-one scoreboard update with Derek Bullier.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Your Fordham Rams hosted and crushed the Maine Black Bears in men's basketball as they improved their record to above 500 at 6-5. Final score 87-72. Fordham Water Polo lost the semifinals to USC 18-16 in overtime in California. It was their first and only loss of the season, but it's their best season in history for your Fordham Rams. Huge congratulations to the water polo team. And finally, now to the ice. Your New York Rangers host the Seattle Kraken. Score is currently 4-3 Kraken as the Rangers look to go on a hot streak against some struggling teams. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Derek Bullier.
Back here in the Bronx, Rose Hill Gym. Fordham Rams leading 18-12 over the Long Island Sharks after the first quarter. We'll discuss that first quarter in a second with my partner, Ben Oppenheimer. But first, we're going to send it to our sideline reporter, Griff Stevenson, on that first quarter. Take it away, Griff.
Thank you, Chris. The Fordham Rams find themselves with a 6-point lead heading into the second quarter here. But the Long Island University Sharks have found gaps in Fordham defense. Fordham likes to play a very, I would say, aggressive style of trap defense, and Bridette Mitchell is not one to not be active on the sideline, commanding her players to push over. She thinks they're letting themselves get taken out of the game a little bit too easily. She said there on the sideline, 2 defenders are getting hit by the same screen. That's impossible. Fordham definitely looking to shape up their defense here as they look to hold on to the lead heading in to not only the end of the half, but as the game unfolds. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Griff. We appreciate it. Griff will be back with us periodically throughout this game. Ben Oppenheimer, my partner throughout this game. Fordham, impressive first quarter. Definitely things to improve on. But for a start on this Sunday afternoon, they couldn't have asked for much better.
Absolutely. I mean, it's back here in the Rose Hill Gym. They're good to be back home after that road trip. First time back, I believe, since the Siena game, November 23rd, where they had an offensive rout of that one. And when you look at this, there's a lot of things to like on the offensive end, but it's also, can you take care of the ball? Also, making sure that LIU does not take advantage of the trap defense that Fordham talked about, that Coach Mitchell talked about before today's game that she wants to implement. A lot of times you'll see, Chris, during games, if one team has a strategy, you'll see a copycat from the other side saying that they want to kind of beat them at their own game. So we'll see if Fordham can play more under control in this quarter.
Fordham inbounding it at midcourt. Ferguson gets the inbound for the Rams. Taylor Donaldson on the right wing. Into Rose Nelson. Quick pass on the baseline to Mora. She takes a step in the middle of the paint. No good on her layup attempt, but it'll stay here with the Rams.
Well, that's a good effort inside there. We know Mora's certainly capable offensively. She's got the strength to do that.
Ferguson taking it out under the basket. Inbounding it to Donaldson. She gathers it in the left corner. Donaldson in the left post to Mora. Mora backing down her defender on the left block. Ends up losing the ball on the baseline, and it goes out of bounds in favor of the LIU Sharks. Good defensive possession for the Sharks.
Well, that's what I was talking about. LIU just kind of making it hard, particularly inside, for Fordham's bigs to just even score.
Lesions deep on the right wing. Pass up top. Glenn got it inside. End up getting swarmed. Garcia Escribano getting 3 Fordham defenders on her almost immediately. It's going to be a foul, a stoppage of play. It'll be an inbound under the basket for LIU.
Well, it's swarming defenses on both sides, and so far that's been more in LIU's favor with the amount of turnovers that Fordham has accumulated so far.
Brianna Mead taking it out. Parallel with the left block on the baseline. Gets it in. Glenn. Past the Legions deep on the right wing. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Legion straight on. Takes a straight on 3. No good air ball. And 2 good defensive possessions for both these teams.
Yeah, just back and forth. Both teams just swarming down low in particular. And even if they try to pass out, that can be an opportunity for a steal. Points in transition to a bucket. So LIU and Fordham both trying to capitalize on that trap defense, as we said, inside the paint.
Ferguson getting it to Rose Nelson, right elbow, back to Ferguson, left wing. She'll take a quick 3, no good. Chris Antoine on the offensive glass once again, and getting a putback once again.
But that possession is the epitome of why Fordham has the lead. Even when they miss, they don't give up.
20-12, 8:45 to go in this second half. Fordham leads. Nice pass to Janessa Williams on the left wing. Jab step, drives baseline side. There'll be a foul on the way. That one will go on Carissa Antoine. It'll stay here with the Sharks.
Certainly a couple of moments of stops and starts, momentum. Hard to be consistent when you're getting a lot of foul calls, and that can be difficult to kind of get in the groove, as we were saying back in the first.
Inbounded under the basket from Long Island. It's Mead. Mead trying to get it in. Eventually does to Williams. Deep on the left wing. Some trouble there. Eventually pass it to Glenn. Glenn guarded by Berry on the right wing. Mead comes over, same spot. Now drifting over top of the arc. Mead driving left side of the lane. Now in the left corner. Tries to drive baseline side. Pickpocketed by Taylor Donaldson. Taylor Donaldson moving for the Rams. Nice pass ahead to Kayla Berry. Couldn't quite hold on to it. And it'll fly out of bounds in favor of LIU.
So many reoccurring themes on that one. Great defense inside. The steal to transition. But then the wild pass just too far, and a wasted possession that could have been a great layup opportunity in transition.
Meade crossing over, sending Taylor Donaldson flying, getting into the front court. Nice play in the front court and a finish under the basket. Caden Glenn gets 2 for LIU. They cut this game within 6. Ferguson on the left wing, dribble handoff back to herself. Going right around an Antoine screen, tried to find her on the roll. Some miscommunication leads the ball flying out of bounds. Once again, another turnover for this Fordham offense.
So many unforced errors that we're seeing so far. If they could control the ball and just make sure that they're doing their best to keep possession in the most poised way possible, they could have a much bigger lead than they have right now, Chris.
It's LIU coming the other way. Nice interception by Grizz Antoine, middle of the paint on the 2-on-1. Greatly played there. Shea Harris has it for the Fordham offense on the right wing. Out to Taya Davis. Pump fakes the 3. Pass down low to Renee Mora. Mora under the basket. Pass in the left corner to Kayla Berry. She'll pump fake. Drive inside. Tried to pass it down low to Chris Antoine. Just a little too much out of her reach, and it'll go out of bounds again. Another turnover for the Fordham offense, Ben.
I'm losing track of the amount of wild passes, just passes that are just a little bit over their head. Got to be quicker than that.
Meade, top of the arc. Now drifting over to the left wing, crossing over right to left, going through the left side of the lane. No good on her. She took a... She just pulled up there from around 10 feet. Shea Harris moving the other way for the Fordham offense, finishing in the middle of the lane with a floater. Moving around the seemingly standstilled LIU defenseman and finishing with the floater.
See, that's what executing in transition looks like.
Meade, 22-14, 8-point Fordham lead, 6:39 to go in this first half. Meade pump fakes on the left wing. Pass it back out. Now a wrestling match for it on the floor. It was Garcia Escribano losing it on the drive after the pump fake from the three-point line. And it's going to be a jump ball. It's going to go back the other way in favor of the Rams.
Well, Fordham getting some great opportunities to capitalize on their 8-point lead here. And they just need to, as I've said since the beginning, keep it under control, make smart passes, don't take extreme risks, and they can build on this lead.
Rose Nelson going left around a Morris screen on the right wing. Now Taya Davis has it on the left wing, crossing over right to left, getting it to Kayla Berry in the left post. It's stripped away from her. Meade now has it for the LIU offense. Meade trying to get across half court. She eventually does. Played it up ahead to Janessa Williams on the right wing. She drives right and finishes at the rim. Finishing on the defending Kayla Berry. I think it'll count with the shot. It doesn't. It'll be on the floor. It'll be Esti Varga taking it out under the basket, parallel with the left block. LIU setting up in a four-corner set on the inbound offensively. Varga getting it on the left block, just seemingly sneaking it in there to Sherelle. Meade has it, top of the arc. Redirecting her offense, resetting. Dribble handoff on the left wing to Varga. Pass at the free throw line. Glenn faces up her opponent. Tried to get it back door to Williams. It's intercepted by Rose Nelson. Fordham moving the other way in transition. Pass behind her. Taya Davis has it on the left wing. On the right wing to Taylor Donaldson. Pump fakes, drives inside. Tried to get it to a Renee Mora. It's broken up. LIU now moving the other way after the interception. Varga tried to get a layup up after a Euro step. It's blocked by Rose Nelson. Out of bounds, it'll stay with the Sharks.
Well, Nelson, the Aussie, showing the magnitude of her defensive presence, getting that steal and then also getting the block on the other end. But look, that could have resulted in a bucket on the other end for Fordham. They did not get it, just not capitalizing on pivotal opportunities, which is hurting them.
Varga inbounding it to Williams in the left corner. Back out to Meade, top of the arc. Meade guarded by Taylor Donaldson. 5.5 to go in this first half. 22-14 Rams. Meade going left around a screen. Now pass on the left wing. Quick three taken. No good. Rimming in and out for Caden Glenn. A fight for the rebound. Taylor Donaldson seemingly ran over on the glass. It'll stay here with LIU. Jennison Williams, along with a few other Sharks, great effort keeping the ball.
Absolutely. Just making the most of their possessions. Fordham, we talked about there, doing that in multiple plays, but also LIU.
Williams getting it into Varga deep in the left wing. To Mead on the right wing. Getting it to Williams, right corner. She'll pump fake, then take the mid-ranger. No good on the shot, but she'll go to the line for 2 on the foul. That foul will be, I believe, awarded to Rose Nelson. Yeah, she is in a bit of disbelief there, Ben.
Yeah, definitely frustrated with that one, but also just consider the fact that usually you don't want to foul on a mid-range shot. If you're going to foul, you want to do it inside in the paint, make them work for it. Kind of an unnecessary break that LIU shouldn't have gotten if you're Fordham from that perspective. You just don't want to do too much, and they were a little too strong defensively on that one, causing the contact as she heads to the line.
Patricia Sherrill subbing out for the Sharks as Johnson makes the first for LIU. Sherrill subs out for Servivia Legions. Legions NEC Northeast Conference Player of the Week last week. 21 points in their last outing as Johnson makes the second, Williams makes the second. 22-16, Fordham with still a 6-point lead over LIU 5 minutes to go in this first half. Taya Davis has it on the right wing for the Fordham offense, going left around an Omashola screen. Taylor Donaldson has it in the left corner, drifting to the left wing to Rose Nelson on the baseline. She barrels inside, couldn't finish on the layup, and a defensive rebound from the Sharks. Shea Harris intercepting it in the backcourt, almost caught the Sharks napping, but it goes out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Sharks.
So much back and forth out here on the floor, just moments of great intensity, particularly on rebounding and just not executing, not finishing the play.
A timeout is called, I believe, by Maureen Haynes and the Sharks. They'll take a little break, so will we. 4:44 to go in this first half. Fordham Rams leading the Sharks of LIU 22-16. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everybody, it's Lou Orlando, one of your broadcasters for Fordham Men's Basketball on 90.7 FM. Treat yourselves this Thanksgiving. The Rams travel to Daytona Beach, Florida for the highly anticipated Sunshine Slam next week. So mark your calendars. Fordham bows Penn State on Monday, November 25th at 4 p.m. before facing the winner of Clemson and San Francisco in the afternoon on Tuesday, November 26th. Both games will be broadcast live on the WFUV Sports YouTube page. Don't miss two of the biggest matchups of the season. WFUV Sports is the home of Fordham basketball.
Welcome back into the Rose Hill Gym, the historic Rose Hill Gym, celebrating its centennial year this year, 100 years of Fordham athletics in the Rose Hill Gym. I'm Chris Carrino, joined by my partner, Ben Oppenheimer. We're set for this Fordham women's basketball matchup. Just 4:44 to go in this first half. The Fordham Rams relatively been in control to start this first half, 22-16, leading the Long Island Sharks, hailing from the Northeast Conference. And Ben, it's been an efficient start for this Fordham Ram team, kind of how we talked about it early before this game started. Good defense translating to good offense, and a lot of their identity they've had all season long really shining through.
Absolutely. You know, not just, and when you talk about the identity, not just the good things, which is the strong defense, also the great moments in transition, getting out there, making them run, but also some of the bad traits in terms of their identity. You look at the turnovers, just very sloppy, 11 to LIU's 6, and then you look at points off turnovers. LIU's got 9, Fordham's got 4. But really what's giving them this lead, Chris, is the fact that they have 14 points in the paint to LIU's 4. And then you also look at their shooting from the field. Fordham shooting a decent 40.9%, not bad. LIU 24% from the field, 2 for 11 from 3. And then also you look at free throws. Both teams making their free throws 2 of 2 so far. Free throws actually very essential. Always count. Every shot counts. It can be the difference maker in whether it's a win or a loss.
Three-point shooting really important for this Ram team. In their last game against the Yale Bulldogs on the road, they defended the three-point line very well. A lot of the similar sort of themes apparent here today. Rams on the defensive in the backcourt. It's LIU bringing it up, more specifically Janessa Williams. 22-16 Fordham Rams lead. 4:36 to go in this first half. Varga has it for the LIU offense. Drifts over to the right wing. Pass in the left wing to Segura. Ball above her head. Pass on the left elbow. Now, facing up her defender, Cheryl makes a turnover there, trying to get it out on the right wing. Taylor Donaldson gathers it, and it'll be a whistle stoppage of play. Fordham will get it going the other way.
She has such a great ability to find a read on whether the opposing player is making the pass, just interrupting those passing lanes, showing her talent not only offensively but also on the defensive side of the ball.
Taya Davis on the right wing. Pass to Rose Nelson, top of the arc. Had a wide open Omashola under the basket, didn't see her. Donaldson playing it back into Rose Nelson on the left block. Omashola has it at the free throw line, takes a jumper, no good. Taylor Donaldson gets it off the glass, no good on her quick three attempt. It'll be LIU going the other way off the defensive rebound. Gisela Segura giving it to Williams on the dribble handoff. Another dribble handoff to Legions, right wing, drifting over to the top of the arc. Legions passing to Varga on the left wing. Varga looking at the top of the key to Segura. Segura passing it back over to Williams. Williams plays it to Cheryl. Top of the key, guarded by Omashola. Another dribble handoff to Williams. Williams pumps fakes, drives right. Pass in the right corner to Glenn. She'll take a shot. No good on her three attempt. Seemed a little too late anyway. Past the shot clock, and it'll go back to the Rams. More solid defense from this Ram team.
Great effort. It's always a positive thing when you're a coach, when you see your team making them run out the shot clock and turn the ball over. Just swarming defense, trapping the defenders, whether it's at the perimeter or inside the paint, making their best to suffocate this LIU offense.
Taya Davis between the circles. Now drifting to the left wing. Moving right around to Chris Antoine. Screen going through the middle of the paint. Pass in the right corner, Taylor Donaldson. She presses it back out. Straight on to Shea Harris. She took a three, no good. Now LIU's defense turning into offense. Gisela Segura has it in the right corner. Pass to the cutting Legion. She can't finish on the layup. She'll go to the line for two, fouled on the way up.
Another just unnecessary foul, in my view. That was not a layup. That was almost a mid-range, just on the edge of the paint there, and taking it from the sideline. You know, you want to contest, obviously, but you have to be careful. It's a balancing act of not being too strong and sending them to the line. And LIU's had a lot of opportunities, as Legions is going to make her first. And Legions is from Brooklyn, New York, but she went to school in Texas. Interesting.
Legions 80% from the line this season, 41% from the field with 33% three-point mark. As her second one rims in and out. Rebound by Taylor Donaldson, wasting zero time. Sprinting to the other side, pass down low to Chris Antoine. She finishes. Great play there from the Rams.
That's the perfect balance of what Fordham needs right now. That speed in transition, but also the smart, poised pass.
Segura gathers it, tries to get the dribble handoff to Legion. It's stolen from the right wing. Chris Antoine stole it. A lazy pass behind her. Taylor Donaldson is stolen once again. Legions has it, moving for LIU the other way. Nice dump-off pass to Williams and a finish. Good play there to make up for it from LIU.
You talk about unforced errors. That was a huge one right there. Why would you pass it back when you're already past half court?
Taya Davis pass to Shea Harris on the right wing. She'll go right around a Wilson Salto screen, driving through the middle of the paint. No good on her shot, but it'll be a foul on the floor. It'll stay here with the Rams. 24-19, Rams with a 5-point lead. Just over 2 minutes to go in this first half. Chris Antoine with a game-high 10 points off the bench so far this afternoon. Freshman hasn't had quite a first-half performance like that this season. Taya Davis has it between the circles, going left around an Antoine screen, then settles at the free throw line, pass in the left corner to Donaldson. Donaldson drifts to the left wing. Donaldson dribble handoff, Taya Davis, same spot. Davis, 5 seconds on the shot clock, moving right around the screen. Now has it at the top of the arc, crossing over left to right, driving through the right side of the paint. No good on her heave. I would call that possibly a floater, but gets fouled on the way up. She'll go to the line for two. A lot of hard work there from the Fordham offense.
Well, you have to give them credit for, at the last minute, heading to the line, getting that contact and the foul, but also at the same time, it's like you let the shot clock run out, wasted a lot of time before doing that, and could have had a more efficient way to score some points as she makes her first free throw. But either way, no harm, no foul, no pun intended, as they get some points on this possession anyway, as she's going to miss her second, but gets 1 point.
Yeah, splits her trip at the line. Taylor Donaldson just 2 points off 500 points in her career, keeping a bookmark on that as LIU now has it offensively in the backcourt. They're going to receive a Fordham press, not a Brooklyn press. Chris Antoine subbing out of the game quickly. A mandate from the referee there, seemingly some blood on her nose, and referee wanted to seemingly just get her checked out. It'll be Anastasia Velhovic subbing in for the Rams. Anastasia hasn't seen much of the court this year. She gets the sub in there. The timeout called. It'll be taken, I believe, by Coach Bridgette Mitchell and the Fordham Rams. They'll take a break. We'll take a break as well. Just under 2 minutes to go in this first half. The Fordham Rams lead the Long Island University Sharks 25-19, and we'll have you set for second half action after this. But first, we'll send it back to the Rose Hill Studios. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
How's it going, everyone? Will Talent here, your New York Giants beat reporter for the 2024 season. Follow alongside me at talent_Will on X to catch all of the updates on your New York Football Giants from MetLife Stadium. With rookie sensation Malik Neighbors and big free agent acquisition Brian Burns, WFUV Sports is the place for Big Blue coverage. WFUV, your home for New York sports.
Welcome back into the Bronx, more specifically Rose Hill Gym. Fordham Rams out to a 25-19 first half lead over the Long Island University Sharks. 1:46 to go in this second quarter. Chris Carrino joined by Ben Oppenheimer. Fordham going to try to add on to the lead they already have at the end of this first half, going in the locker room with a big lead. Ben, they're only up 6 right now on the scoreboard, but they could be up a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it during the timeout with you, Chris. They're up 6, but they should be up 16 with particularly the way that they're getting the points that they want inside, outscoring LIU 16-6. It's just also look at the rebounding. 24-13 in Fordham's favor, and then offensive rebounds in particular 8-4 in Fordham's favor. But what's been keeping this game relatively close is the fact that right now they have 13 turnovers to LIU's 9, and LIU has taken advantage of those turnovers, outscoring them 11-4 in points off turnovers.
Fordham with the first 7 rebounds of this game. It felt from the very beginning on the boards they were going to try to control and at least have some sort of dominance. LIU coming out with the ball on the inbound. It's going to be Legions gathering it for the Sharks deep on the right wing. Now going left around a screen, guarded by Taylor Donaldson. Has it on the left wing behind the arc. Picks up her dribble, given to Varga. Top of the key. Pass to Williams. Williams has on the right wing. Back to Varga on the left wing. Varga faking right around the screen, trying to go left. Taya Davis steals it. Taya Davis playing it ahead to Anastasia Velhovic, and she'll finish on the other end. Anastasia's first points of this season, and what a time for them to come. A trap set in the backcourt by the Fordham Rams. It's Anastasia and Kayla Berry. That forces a timeout from Reen Haynes and the LIU Sharks.
Well, that trap defense that Coach Mitchell talked about before today's game has been so effective in why they have the lead right now, taking advantage of that strong defense, making it into a turnover, especially after the shot clock runs out. That's such a strong defensive performance on that possession. And then turning it into a transition layup the other way. That's a great way to get the team active and running. That's where they're at their best, is when they're out there running on the court, making the other team exhausted in terms of the pace of this game. But you talk about the pace, Fordham also has to keep it under control themselves. That's been their Achilles heel so far, is they've had great moments like we just saw in that play, but we've also had moments where Fordham is throwing a wild pass out of bounds in transition after a perfect opportunity came up from a steal. So some good and bad, but definitely capitalizing on that possession there.
LIU inbounding in the backcourt, receiving another Fordham press. Taya Davis helping defensively, gets a deflection out of bounds, and LIU have to inbound it once again in the backcourt. It'll be Legions at midcourt. Some confusion from LIU. It's actually Fordham ball. Legions was out of bounds, ready to inbound it, and referees told her, no, it's not your ball. Caleb Berry inbounding it at midcourt. Would be Taya Davis receiving the inbound, drifting over deep on the left wing. 55 seconds on the game clock, 25 on the shot clock. Drifting out top of the key to Taylor Donaldson on the right wing. Now receiving a double team to Taya Davis in the right corner. Taya Davis drifting out to the left wing, to the right wing. To Taylor Donaldson, to Belhovich in the left corner, driving inside, back out to Taylor Donaldson. She'll take a left wing three and a hit. Taylor Donaldson with a big three, and she gives the Rams an 11-point lead. 30-19 Rams lead, 22 seconds to go in this first half. Legions drives to the right side of the lane, tries to put up a mid-ranger, blocked by Wilson Saltos in the mid-range. It'll go out of bounds on the baseline. It'll go back toward the Rams. Another good defensive possession for Fordham.
Well, those past two plays are just showing Fordham at their best. Taylor Donaldson nailing that three, and we know that she's a weapon from that area, from any area on the court, inside, outside, on the perimeter, and then also credit to Fordham for their great defense on that possession, ending the first half the way they want to in a strong fashion.
Taya Davis on the right wing, guarded by Varga. Pass in the right corner, Taylor Donaldson. She'll take a quick fire, no good. Rebound on the offensive glass by Wilson Saltos. Her putback, no good. And that's how we'll end our first half. The Fordham Rams with an 11-point lead over the LIU Sharks. An impressive end to an impressive half from the Rams.
Yeah, certainly impressive in terms of rebounding. Their effort there has been second to none compared to LIU. And then also when you look at particularly the turnovers, LIU is also accumulating turnovers. Fordham picking up some steals themselves and turning that into transition opportunities. So Fordham, if they can just work out the kinks and play with more cohesion, particularly in slowing it down and not moving faster than their brains can think, and just try to stay poised and make sure that they have good judgment on a pass and making sure it's not too wild or over someone's head, then they can easily take a commanding lead. They have an 11-point lead right now at the half. They're going to look to build on that in the third quarter and make sure that LIU doesn't try to make a run that makes this game a close one as we get into the fourth, Chris.
As you said, Ben, Fordham with an 11-point lead going into the second half, 30-19, leading the Long Island University Sharks. That's it for us here in the Rose Hill Gym for the first half. We're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios for a halftime report with host Kurt Sippel. But first, a one-on-one scoreboard update once again with Derek Bullier. Take it away, guys.
Welcome in to the one-on-one halftime show. I'm joined alongside Derek Bullier. Right now, the Fordham Rams are leading the LIU Sharks by 30-19. But before we break all of that down, we're going to get a halftime report update from Derek Bullier.
Yeah, going into the NFL this Sunday, the Jets fly down to Miami to play the struggling Dolphins, and Miami hopes they can shut down Aaron Rodgers, but currently it's 23-15 for the Jets. The Giants, we're going back up to New York. Drew Lock doesn't seem to see much improvement from last week as they're losing 14-3. Now this game, Falcons-Vikings, very interesting with Kirk Cousins playing his old team, but it doesn't seem like he's doing very well with the Vikings, or with the Falcons. Vikings seem much better off with Sam Darnold as they look to improve to 11-2. Vikings winning 35-21. The Panthers and Eagles over to Philly. Saquon Barkley, to the dismay of all Giants fans, looking to continue his MVP campaign over 100 yards this week. As they look to lock down the division, they're winning 22-16. Browns-Steelers, a division matchup. Famous Jameis continues slinging that football, but not seeing as nearly as much success as he did last week, as they're losing 27-7. And finally, Jaguars-Titans, not as much as a division matchup as our last one. See, it looks like exactly as people would expect it to. 10-6 to the Jags.
Well, thank you for that, Derek. And before I want to start this one-on-one halftime show, Chris Carrino got to talk to Coach Bridgette Mitchell, and before the game, and I just want to hear what she had to say, so we can see if what she had planned in for this game is what Fordham is executing right now.
Taking you live prior to Fordham and Long Island. I have the pleasure of being joined by head basketball coach, Coach Bridgette Mitchell. Coach, coming off last game, 2 straight road wins for this Fordham team. We talked prior to last game about how important it was for you guys to get that success on the road. How happy were you getting that win, and what can you take now into the future with?
Yeah, really proud of our team's effort. We were able to lock in, limiting a go-to player on the opponent's team is something that we always strive for, and so we were able to do that against Yale. So really proud of the team's effort.
And Taya Davis talked about a little bit consistency and how important that is for you guys down the stretch. She was wildly consistent and had 23 points, a real scoring explosion. What kind of element does she bring to your guys moving forward, and just how proud are you seeing her development over the last couple of years now and almost a climax at Yale?
Yeah, we talk a lot about her ability to draw defenders, and I think that she was able to break her girl down, and without help size, she was able to focus and finish. So really proud of her ability to attack downhill, but also to capitalize and finish in this past game against Yale. So really excited for her to continue that. And
drawing defenders, like you said, with Irene, her adding her element down low, that really helps and opens up everything.
Yeah, so if Tay can't have the bucket, she's going to find her teammate. She does it really well, and so Yale just happened to be her night for her to score, so proud of her.
Yeah, and now, Coach, after this game, you guys go on a little break before going to California. What do you want to see this afternoon that'll have you feeling reassured going into the long break?
Definitely. We're going to be aggressive on the defensive end. We're going to look to trap them quite a bit, so I want to be able to see us close our traps and scramble out of it in the half court. So, right, we're typically going to press, and like we've watched film and did all that, but we haven't done as much trapping ball screens in the half court. So we've been practicing that this week and leading up to Yale. Didn't do it very much against Yale, so we're going to look to do that and continue the flow of that as we continue to practice.
Thank you, Coach. Action and starting lineups from Sharks and Rams coming up next.
Well, that was Coach Bridgette Mitchell that we got to hear from at halftime in the pregame. And today Fordham is leading LIU, excuse me. They played Stony Brook last week. Is leading LIU 30-19. Fordham today has been playing a pretty good basketball game, but Derek, I think that Fordham should be up by more today.
I agree with you. I agree with that. I think they're turning the ball over a little too much, especially in that first quarter. They were turning the ball over way too much. Now it's pretty even with turnovers, as Fordham has 13 and the other team has 11, so it's much more even. But in that first quarter, they really turned the ball over way too much.
They were turning the ball over way too much, and we heard from Ben Oppenheimer as well as Chris Carrino, our broadcasters today. You know, Coach Bridgette Mitchell always talks about wanting to play muddy basketball, wants to muck up the defense a little bit more, get steals, get stops. And I mean, we've seen it work for Fordham this year, because this year in steals, Fordham has led 5th in the conference and had 9 steals a game so far. And for Fordham, it's good to do that, but you also have to play with the right pace, as well as trying to do it where you're not turning the ball over as much, as well as getting your rebounds, which they've been doing today. Fordham's rebounds have been insane today with 27 to LIU's 13. They're getting whatever they want in the paint. But you cannot lie your head to right now and say we have been doing a good job when it comes to the turnovers and just sloppy basketball in general.
Yeah, I think they're also fouling a little too much. They have 7 personal fouls in the half. And back to the rebounds, they have 10 offensive rebounds to LIU's 4. That's a big difference in the game and how much they're scoring. That's a very big difference that we're seeing so far in this game.
Some people to highlight for Fordham as well today is the 11 points from Taylor Donaldson, who has led Fordham in scoring for this whole season so far since she got back from injury. she's just been great for the Fordham Rams this season, and really just highlighting how important she is to these Fordham Rams, as well as this win streak that they've been going on. Fordham has won 3 games in a row as well. And not also to highlight one other person that's also 1 point behind her, Carissa Antone, who has 10 points in this game right now. And that's 10 points off the bench, because Fordham's been retooling their we heard Chris and Ben talk about Fordham retooling their starting lineups today. So really, you're getting a big game from 2 people tonight, but you want to see that bench score more.
Of course, yeah, you want to see that bench score a little more. And back to Antoine, she's 5 for 5 from the field goal, 100%, with 5 rebounds as well. She's really playing well off that bench, and we're seeing a lot from the bench, a lot more this game, especially from her. And it's good to see that, because when you have those points off the bench, you don't have to rely on your 5 starters. You can keep going back and forth, keeping those players fresh, and you can keep getting those points off that bench. It's really important for the game. It's really important to just keep playing well and stay fresh through the next half, because if your players get tired in that first half, it's hard to keep that up in the second half, and you can allow some points, some turnovers, you can get rid of that lead that you have that you built up.
You need fresh legs coming into that halftime, because you don't want to tire your guys out so much, because if that happens, LIU has been sneaky today. They've really been very sneaky today, and we've seen it when they've gone on little runs where Fordham should be up, wouldn't you say, like 20 points at this point?
With all their rebounds.
All their rebounds, they're scoring today as well. I mean, I would like to see more threes hit. We're only 3 for 10 right now, but LIU also has not been profiting from the 3-point line, only 2 for 11. But Fordham, you just cannot give LIU a break, because if they go on a run, you don't want them to go forward.
Exactly, and we obviously shouldn't be talking, you don't think we should be talking this aggressively about them, but they're up by 11, but based on how they're playing, based on what we've seen, it should be a lot more.
Definitely.
We're obviously winning the game, and that's obviously important. But
you have 13 turnovers.
Exactly.
LIU might have 11 turnovers, but 13 turnovers is just unacceptable.
And they're really taking advantage of their turnovers. They have so many points on those turnovers, and Fordham doesn't have nearly as many points off those turnovers that they have. They've really been taking advantage of our mistakes.
LIU has 11 points off their turnovers, off of Fordham's turnovers at the moment. And those are just things that have to be improved, and something that Bridgette Mitchell is definitely talking to the people in the locker room right now and saying we have to fix these things that we shouldn't be doing.
Exactly.
These are just things that for a Fordham basketball team who has large aspirations this season shouldn't be doing, and I think that we're going to see them play even better basketball in that second half, because we even saw a great closeout. And we saw a great closeout. Taylor Donaldson had a 3 to go put Fordham up by 11 to end that first half, excuse me. And that's just momentum leading you forward. And I always say basketball, while yes, a game of runs, is also such a big game of momentum, because if there is no momentum in your game, you're just not going to go forward, and your strengths are just going to be very poor. So realistically, what do you want to see from these Fordham Rams when they go out in that next half?
When they go on the next half, I want to see them keep doing the exact same thing they've been doing with their rebounding. They're rebounding more than double than LIU is, but I'd like to see a few more threes maybe. They haven't shot at nearly as many as LIU has, or maybe not nearly as many, but they haven't shot as many. I just like maybe some better shooting, although I have been shooting 40% compared to LIU's 25%, which may be attributed to their defense, keeping the LIU down to 25%. But I'd just like to see they keep using their size with their points in the paint, and I like to see that, and I'd like to keep them their rebounding, but I'd like them to play a little less sloppy, keep their turnovers down, keep their fouling down, just keep playing the same game they've been playing.
One thing that I think that we're going to have to see more of today is we are having a quiet game right now from Kayla Berry, only having 2 points today, as well as a pretty quiet game from Arena Morey. She has been great for Fordham this season, averaging very good numbers for Fordham in general. Even in the last game, she had a career high against Stony Brook with 23 points, 7 for 10 from shooting. So we have had a pretty quiet game from 2 of Fordham's best players. So we will see a better game overall for these 2. I think that we'll see more scoring as well for Morey and Berry. And just in general, I think keep up that defense that Fordham prides themselves on so much, because every Fordham team, even the men's basketball team, the women's basketball team, the amount of pride that they have in their defense that they play. And the Fordham women's basketball team is playing some great defense, but you have to translate that to scoring.
Exactly. You have to keep that scoring up because you can't just win off defense.
Exactly. And with your one-on-one halftime report, I've been Kurt Sipple, joined alongside Derek Boulier. We're going to send it back to Chris and Ben at the Rose Hills Gym pretty soon, but we'll play some promos before we get back.
I'm Chaz McAdams.
And I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
And we are two of your hosts for On the Hill, the flagship podcast of Fordham Athletics.
We'll be talking about everything from football at Moglia Stadium
to hoops at the historic Rose Hill Gym.
Discussing the ins and outs of all Ram athletes, teams, and big games.
If you want to be part of the Ramily, then listen to On the Hill from WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Will Talent.
And I'm Evan Harkin. We're two of your hosts for NFL Friday, WFUV Sports' exclusive NFL podcast.
From breaking down the weekly slate to fantasy football pickups, we've got you covered on all things around the NFL.
Stay tuned for our hosts' weekly picks as they compete against each other all season long.
Football is here, and so is NFL Friday.
I'm Isabella Terracini.
And I'm Barrett Spreitzer. We're two of your hosts for College Gridiron, the exclusive home for all things college football on WFUV Sports.
Join us as we break down the biggest matchups of the week, Heisman hopefuls, and college football playoff previews.
Listen in on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Welcome back into the historic Rose Hill Gym on the beautiful campus of Fordham University. I'm Chris Carrino with the pleasure of being joined by my partner, Ben Oppenheimer. Fordham women's basketball leading the LIU Sharks, Long Island University Sharks, 30-19 after a very productive first half that saw a lot of good signs on both sides of the ball for this Ram team, Ben.
Absolutely. The question is, will they turn those mistakes into non-issues and just fully focus on the positive aspects of the first half that got them to this 30-19 lead? They really, as I said, just need to stay poised, keep it under control, and also make smart passes, take smart shots. Right now they're shooting a lot better from the field than LIU is. Fordham shooting 40% overall. Then when you look at the rebounding, obviously 27-13. That's the story of the game for me, from my perspective, is so many second chance opportunities that have allowed Fordham to score in the paint even after a miss. Points in the paint, Fordham outscoring LIU 18-6. So hopefully if you're Fordham, you look to build on those positive trends and limit the mistakes of the turnovers from the first, Chris.
It'll be Gisela Masagura checking it in to Varga, center court to start this second half. It's Williams passing it top ahead to Segura. Skip pass to Legions. Legions on the right wing, back to Williams up top. To Varga on the left wing. Varga drives right, kicks it out to Legions, top of the arc. It's going to be an offensive 3 seconds call in the paint. It'll be a turnover for the Sharks offense.
Well, you just have to have the right judgment there on the defensive end and make sure to be smart and remember where you are and how you're guarding. Just need to be a little bit more disciplined.
Kayla Berry to Taya Davis, top of the arc, crossover right to left. going up at the rim, no good on the layup attempt, gets her own rebound. Taya Davis gets it, tried to get it inside to Kayla Berry, ends up being gathered by Taylor Donaldson. She brings a wraparound pass to Arete Mora under the basket. She missed a scramble to try and get the rebound on the loose ball. Rose Nelson, definitely the effort being there, couldn't quite get to the ball. LIU will take it over.
Well, the effort has been great the entire game. That seems to have carried into the second half so far, but just some chaotic style of play that really needs to be disciplined and worked on to execute properly.
A pass inside on the block leads to a bit of a wrestling match down low. That one between Dennis and Moore. It's Fordham offense now coming the other way. Taya Davis playing it up ahead in the left corner. Taylor Donaldson. She drives inside, puts up a layup attempt, no good. Defensive rebound by Janessa Williams. Williams on the right wing, dribble handoff. Segura gathers it deep on the right wing. Segura top of the arc. Varga to Legions right wing, guarded by Taya Davis. Legions now top of the arc. Driving left side of the lane. Pass up top to Varga. Varga has it straight on. A pass on the right elbow to Segura. She pump fakes and takes the jumper and hits from mid-range. LIU pulling within single digits.
Segura's certainly an offensive weapon for this LIU team. Also another international player. She's from Spain, from Cervera.
Taya Davis at the free throw line, passing on the right wing to Rose Nelson. Nelson moving left around to Moore screen to Taylor Donaldson on the left wing. Taylor Donaldson moving right around to Kayla Berry's screen, passes it to the rolling Berry. Berry under the basket, gathered by a sea of yellow jerseys, and LIU couldn't quite get the shot to go, but gets fouled and go to the line for two.
Well, LIU still using that swarming trap defense that Fordham implemented in the start of this game. Not working to their advantage on that play, Chris, as Berry heads to the line to shoot two. Exactly what you want if you're Coach Mitchell. Getting any points on the board any way you can. And now Berry has an opportunity here for two.
Kayla Berry, 2 for 2 already this afternoon now. Make it 3 for 3. 3 points on the afternoon, 31-21. Still a 10-point lead for the Fordham Rams. 7:52 to go in this third quarter.
And Berry, the Brooklyn native, went to St. John's Prep as she makes her second there.
Not a far commute for her or our visiting LIU Sharks. Played up ahead to Williams, breaking the press, getting into the front court, faking a pass, getting inside, couldn't quite get the shot to go, and Taylor Donaldson heads up, hits it off, an LIU defender couldn't quite get the ball back. Heads up play by her, just couldn't quite be successful with it.
Good effort there and trying to keep the ball in play. Close, but no cigar.
Will be taken out by Varga under the basket. Varga playing it to Williams. Williams has it in the left corner. Now backing down Taya Davis in the middle of the paint. Has the ball in the middle of the paint, getting it downstairs. Dennis, a pass. Segura tried to put up a shot, hit nothing but the backboard, and the Fordham offense will gather it once again. Kayla Berry having some trouble with it in the backcourt, eventually plays it up ahead to Taya Davis. She gets it across half court. Taya Davis, top of the arc, passes to Rose Nelson on the right wing. Nelson guarded by the smaller Legions. Driving baseline side, kick out, tried to get it in the left corner to Taylor Donaldson, couldn't get it to her. Taya Davis steals it in transition, back for the Fordham offense. Out to Taylor Donaldson. She has it top of the key, she'll reset it for the Fordham offense. Great effort from the Rams. Donaldson moving right around to Berry's screen, and it's going to be a foul on the floor. That one will go on Dia Dennis.
Well, Chris, so far that characteristic of just back and forth, quickly changing possession, steals and turnovers galore that we saw in the first has carried on into the second. You know, Fordham commits a turnover. LIU looks like they're about to head on in transition, and then Fordham steals it right back, and now they're going to inbound the ball here. So.
And a steal off the inbound. Brianna Mead coming the other way and finishing. Dancing around the rim. It looked good. It did not get the fall. Nice play by Mead, stealing it, getting it in transition. Another steal from LIU and another turnover.
I couldn't even finish a thought, Chris, before I was interrupted by this flurry of steals, of transition baskets.
Legion stole the ball at half court, went to go take it the other way, tried to get an outlet pass out ahead of her, and threw it out of the baseline seemingly. Taya Davis now has it for the Fordham offense, moving right around an Antoine screen, finding Antoine on the roll. It's taken away, broken up by the LIU offense. It's Brianna Mead once again with the ball. Played up ahead to Williams on the right wing. Williams inside in the middle of the paint by Cheryl. Cheryl has trouble with it, then gathers, takes a right-handed skyhook on the right block. It's no good, but Arena Mora will be charged with the foul, and Cheryl will go to the line for 2.
Just a crazy pace of play in the last minute, Chris. And you look at that, particularly, that's been to Fordham's advantage and to their disadvantage. Fordham has certainly made the best of their transition opportunities as she makes her first free throw there for Cheryl. But Fordham has also had moments where those turnovers have resulted in points on the other end for LIU. So good and bad for both teams as she misses her second there.
Yeah, Merrill missing the second. Segura not giving up for it, stealing it in the backcourt, getting it back for the LIU offense. Mead takes a wide open left wing 3 and hits. Big 3 for the LIU offense. They cut the Fordham lead to 7. A timeout called by Bridgette Mitchell and her Fordham team. They need to talk it over.
Well, they certainly need to talk it over after the chaos that we've seen on the floor to start out this third quarter. And particularly when you look at LIU, they're embracing the chaos. They're making use of those turnovers from Fordham and generating them into fouls, into shots at the line, into made threes, as we just saw there, taking advantage of those sloppy handling of the ball, of those turnovers there, Chris.
Brianna Mead's 3 right before the timeout, getting this LIU team back in a competitive place in this game. They trail by 7, 32-25. Fordham leads, 6:04 to go in this third quarter. We'll be right back from the Rose Hill Gym. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Evan Harkin, your New York Jets beat reporter for the 2024 season. Stay up to date with all things white and green from MetLife Stadium. From Aaron Rodgers touchdowns to Sauce Gardner interceptions, I've got you covered. So join me and Gang Green on Twitter at Ev Harkin and stay locked in with the JETS on WFUV, your home for New York sports.
Back here in the Rose Hill Gym, 6:04 to go in our third quarter. The hosting Fordham Rams, leading the LIU Sharks, Long Island University Sharks, 32-25. I'm Chris Carrino, joined by my partner, Ben Oppenheimer. And Ben, LIU's had a little bit of a resurgence in the recent last couple of possessions. Fordham relatively doing a good job staying in control of this game. This could be a turning point where maybe that isn't the case.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one or two, a couple of possessions can change the whole momentum, the vibes on the floor of a game. And the way they've started out this third quarter is, there's been some things to like, especially with the rebounding, the effort, and also taking advantage of LIU's turnovers. But LIU has also done that to their advantage, and in the past few possessions, they've gotten the last laugh. But when you look at turnovers, Chris, 17 for Fordham, 14 for LIU, so Fordham has more turnovers. It's interesting because usually when you would look at a stat like that, you would think, oh, it must be LIU with the lead if they have 3 less turnovers than Fordham, but not so, particularly when you look at the points off turnovers. That's also actually, points off turnovers is also an advantage of LIU. But where the story is different is when you look at the rebounding. Fordham still massively out-rebounding this LIU team.
And also, Ben, when you look at second chance points, this Fordham team with 9, LIU with only 2. Fordham doing a really good job of taking advantage of every offensive possession and even getting a few extra as well.
And that's due to the great effort on the offensive rebounding from many players we've seen so far.
Taya Davis drifting over to the left wing, starting it off after the timeout. Taya Davis, top of the arc, Taylor Donaldson. She'll take a straight on 3 and hit. Taylor Donaldson with another 3, and she brings Fordham back out to a 13-point lead.
Coming at the perfect moment
10-point lead, my mistake.
Yes, giving her team a 10-point lead, back to a little bit more of a comfortable position for this Fordham team.
Williams receives it deep on the right wing from a dribble handoff. 10-point lead for the Rams, 35-25. 5.5 to go in this third quarter. Legion's going right around to screen, top of the arc, now has it on the right block. Back out, Segura pump fakes, drives to the left side of the lane, and is blocked by Carissa Antoine at the rim. Fordham offense moving the other way. Taylor Donaldson moving down the middle of the lane. No good on her left-handed layup attempt, but she'll go to the line for 2.
Well, great aggression down the floor there, just blowing past the other players, missing the shot, but getting the foul. Is going to shoot 2 at the line, and she's great at just driving to the basket, and if she misses the shot, she usually gets a foul. She's going to miss her first here, but she'll get another opportunity, and Donaldson, obviously the main scorer of this Fordham team, the California native, and she misses her second.
Offensive rebound, more second chance point opportunities for this Ram team. Taya Davis has it, deep on the left wing. Going left around to Carissa Antoine screen, now settling more in the left corner. Fakes top of the arc, passes it to Mora, deep on the left block. Mora spinning, getting called for the offensive foul call. Mora kind of leaning with her elbows there, slightly on some post moves in the left block, and she gets called for the offensive foul.
Yeah, you have to be careful when you're down in the paint. You can get called for any mistake, and just not perfect on that one, as it's going to be a timeout now to talk it over. And certainly some sloppy play from both teams, but especially from Fordham, yet they find themselves with this 10-point lead thanks to players like Donaldson making those threes at the most opportune time, giving them that cushion to be able to make mistakes and still be still have the lead.
And Ben, what did we see maybe at an earlier stage of this game that maybe lended to more offensive and defensive consistency for this Ram team?
Well, I think particularly it is they're playing more under control and getting more simple moments where you have players like Donaldson who are just open at the top of the key, knocking down their shot. If they want to succeed, deep into this quarter and into the fourth to finish this game, they have to just, a lot of times, even though transition is great, just slow it down and just get a simple basket from 3 or mid-range. When you look at these stats here, you can see, Chris, the offensive rebounding 12-5 for Fordham, and that's given them these second chance opportunities like we just saw there. You had the missed shot from Donaldson. She missed 2 at the line. Not great for her, but then Fordham keeps it in possession because of their grit and their intensity in terms of their ability to rebound, get the offensive rebound. That's why they have the lead as well, is they've had so many of these second chance points.
The Sharks shooting 27% from the field. It's going to be hard to win any sort of basketball game with that low of an efficiency offensively.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, we've seen games this season where Fordham has shot that poorly at points as well, but they're shooting just well enough. 38%, not great, but it's just well enough to get the offense they need to get going, get points on the board, the shots that they want. They're improving from beyond the arc. They were shooting originally around 30% earlier in the first half. Now they're shooting 36% from the field from 3. So that's 4 for 11. Then you look at LIU, 3 for 12, much worse at 25%. So Fordham, without the mistakes, putting aside the mistakes, they're playing more efficiently than LIU, and they're also playing with more grit, more intensity. That's why they have this lead right now.
Absolutely. A 10-point lead. The Rams hold on to 35-25, 4:57 to go in this third quarter. Taylor Donaldson, the A-10 leading scorer per game last season. She has 14 so far in this game. That's a game high, along with 5 rebounds. Carissa Antoine, another notable stat line, 10 points early in this game and 7 rebounds on top of that. She's been very effective for this Ram team. It'll be the Rams defending. Seems like they'll be in a full court press here. LIU taking it out under the opposite basket. Shea Harris on the inbounder, and Fordham in a full 5-person press in the backcourt to start off after this timeout.
That trap defense swarming, we've seen that implemented by both teams. Just a matter of who is capitalizing more off of those turnovers.
It's going to be Janessa Williams inbounding, the Lake Worth native sophomore. Waiting a few seconds here. Here we go. The Williams to inbound it in. Most of Fordham defense dropping back, not as the press made it look. Tried to make a pass into Meade deep on the left wing, stolen by Taya Davis, and finished on the other end with the right hand. 500 career points for Taya Davis. 37-25, 12-point lead for the Fordham Rams. 4:34 to go in this third quarter. It's Legions driving through the middle of the lane, crossing over left to right, getting to the rim, missing on the right-handed layup, but go to the line for two.
Well, I just want to touch upon that's a great milestone, great achievement for Taya Davis, and even though Fordham picking up the foul on that play, give credit to Davis for reading that pass so well, reading those passing lanes and picking up the steal, getting the bucket in transition. Just so you can't understate that ability to turn defense into offense from the perimeter, and that's what she does, as well as players like Taylor Donaldson.
Serviva Legions missing her first and her second. An 80% free throw shooter on the year, missing both, and the Fordham offense is coming the other way with speed. Taya Davis stops at the three-point line on the perimeter, drifting out to the left wing. Now moving right around to Chris Antoine screen. Taylor Donaldson on the left wing, driving left of the lane. Tried to pass it inside to Mora. It'll be out of bounds. It'll stay on this side with the Rams. Wilson Salto subbing into this game in favor of Irene Mora. Meade also subbing out of this one. That in favor of Esty Varga. Taya Davis inbounding it from the baseline to Shea Harris on the right corner to Taya Davis on the right wing. Drifting out now to the left wing. Crossover right to left. Picked at it on the crossover. Long heave at the end of the shot clock for Taylor Donaldson. No good. Took a shot right in front of her own bench deep on the left wing. Couldn't get it to even hit the rim, and LIU will take it over offensively once again.
Well, that was a great defensive possession from LIU. Another moment where they made Fordham run out that shot clock, resulting in a turnover going the other way.
Legions has it and moving with speed the other way for LIU. Pass it back out on the right wing. A crossover. Driving inside, Williams doesn't get the shot to go, but she'll go to the line for two. A jab step got her some separation, and she took it all the way to the lane.
Very smart, absorbing the contact, getting to the line. Free throws, so essential. And, when you look at both teams and how they're shooting from the line, particularly Fordham shooting 62%, 5 for 8. LIU 4 for 8, 50%. We'll see how Williams does here as she makes her first.
Makes the first, her third straight free throw made of the night.
And she is from Florida, from Lake Worth. She's going to take her second here. Makes it.
Makes the second. It's 37-27, 10-point lead for the Rams, 3:38 to go in this third quarter. Velhovic playing it up to Davis. Davis drifting to the left wing, guarded by Varga. Out to Velhovic, has it straight on. Crossover left to right, driving through the middle of the lane, putting up a shot, no good. Doesn't even catch her in, but gets fouled on the way up. And she'll go to the line for two. Anastasia Velhovic.
Just showing that tenacity there, that grit to get to the basket. We haven't only seen it with the rebounding, with the offensive rebounding, but also with the ability to absorb the contact and get to the line. That's an achievement in and of itself, because a lot of times you can get really banged up there on the way. And now she's going to shoot two, getting ready for her first here. Makes the first.
First is good for Velhovic. Velhovic hasn't seen much playing time so far this season, or really most impactful moments of the season seen so far this afternoon. As she makes a second as well. 4 points on the afternoon, scoreless in her Fordham career up to this point. Now she's got 4. It's Leaches just speeding through the Fordham defense, ends up finding herself under the basket, barreling through Wilson Saltos, who takes the plunge and gets the charge call. It's going the other way in favor of the Rams.
Great way to sacrifice your body on that one. Any coach will love when a player achieves or is on the other end of an offensive foul, just taking one for the team, quite literally. Great defensive effort on that one.
Taya Davis has it on the left wing. Pass up top. Fake pass up top to Shea Harris, then gives it to her. Shea Harris, ball above her head, guarded by Varga, top of the key. Back to Davis to her left. Davis through the middle of the lane, putting up a right-handed layup. No good, but she'll be fouled. She received contact on the way up. She'll go to the line, somewhere she became very, very familiar with last game. A lot of free throw attempts for her on her way to 23 points. She'll go to the line once again this afternoon.
And Davis certainly on the shorter end, but still muscling her way inside. And anytime, you're of a shorter stature as a player, it's even more difficult to get to the line as she misses her first. But really, it's you have to give credit to any guard who's willing to get inside as she makes her second, getting to the line.
Taya Davis makes her second. Fordham in a full court press here defensively. A lot of activity in the backcourt ends up leading to a blocking foul on Carissa Antoine. That one will be on the dribbling Varga, and it will go the other way in favor of LIU. They'll go to the line for two, both teams in the bonus.
And both teams are implementing a full court press. Chris, at first we saw that swarming defense on the inside when they're in half court just trying to get a basket. But now it's completely on the whole floor. There is a swarming defense.
As Varga misses her first free throw, that one off the left side of the rim. Varga's second attempt. First two free throw attempts of the afternoon. Makes that one, bounces off all parts of the rim. And Fordham's going to move fast the other way, almost stolen by Legions there. Ilhovich tried to play it up ahead on the left wing to Shea Harris. It was broken up. It'll stay with the Rams. Shea Harris will inbound it right in front of the Fordham bench. Shea Harris inbounding it to Taya Davis, top of the arc. Moving right around an Antoine screen, now on the right wing. Pass up top to Shea Harris. Shea Harris moving left. Then dribble handoff to Antoine. Antoine in the right corner of Ilhovich. Fakes right. Pass inside to Antoine on the right block. Spinning around. No good on the fadeaway. Rebound under the basket by Wilson Saltos on the offensive glass. Back out to Taya Davis. Pump fakes on the right wing. Drives inside. No good on her floater, but another foul. She'll go to the line once again. Really productive and fast play there from the Fordham offense.
And she's had opportunities at the line before. Definitely a characteristic of her performance in today's game is that ability, that determined courage to get to the line, get inside the paint, despite the contact that may come her way.
40-28, Rams with a 12-point lead, 2:22 to go in this third quarter. Carissa Antoine subbing out in favor of Rose Nelson. Taya Davis now going to the line for two. Davis missing the first off back rim. Davis 2 for 5 so far this afternoon from the charity stripe. 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists as she makes the first, bouncing off the front of the rim. Taya Davis immediately after the free throws will sub out in favor of Taylor Donaldson. 41-28, 13-point lead for the Rams, 2:19 to go in this third quarter. It'll be Williams deep on the left wing, giving the dribble handoff to Varga. Varga drifting over to the right wing, back to Williams. Williams passing it into the right block. Chance at a back door. Sakura ends up saying conservative. Back out. Williams has it on the left wing. Crossing over left to right, almost loses it. Back out to Legions. Legions will take the left elbow jumper. No good, but a foul called in the air. It'll be another shooting foul. This time, it's Servival Legions going to the line for two.
That's not a smart foul there. You almost had them turn it over with the shot clock violation, and just at the very end, when Legions is shooting, is caught, is head to the line. Just a unforced error for Fordham as she makes her first.
Legions 1 for 4 so far this afternoon from the free throw line. 5 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Legion's second is good as well. Big free throws there for Legion's, cutting this deficit to 11, 41-30. Rams lead the Sharks, 1:47 to go in this third quarter. Shea Harris has it deep on the left wing, pass top of the arc, Rose Nelson. Skip pass to Taylor Donaldson, right wing. Back up top, Myers Giles-Jones. She'll jab step right, pass inside Wilson Saltos. In the left corner, Rose Nelson driving in, kicking back up top. Giles-Jones driving right side of the lane. Turn around and put up in the middle of the paint. Impressive stuff there from Giles-Jones.
Great footwork, creating space for the fadeaway in the paint for two. Great fundamentals of basketball.
A quick right wing three. Pull-up is no good. That one from Garcia Escribano. Fordham offense moving the other way with some speed. Shea Harris going through the middle of the lane. No good on her layup attempt, but, and I've said it a few times already, she'll go to the line for two.
Yeah, just a lot of free throw attempts for Fordham so far in the second half, and that's a great quality to have, especially when you're trying to build on the lead, is just show that aggression and that determined attitude to get to the basket whatever way possible. She makes her first there, and we've seen a lot of players get to the line. We've seen Harris, we've seen Davis, we've seen multiple players get their impact there. She's 2 of 2.
The inbounded in the backcourt for LIU, trying to get it in. It's stolen. Had some trouble with the inbound. Shea Harris straight on three. No good off back iron. It'll be Varga taking it quickly for the LIU offense in transition. Tried to get an outlet pass up ahead to Legions. It simply falls through her hands and goes out of bounds. The Rams will get it back.
Well, that's been the story of this game is, we see a great opportunity for Fordham in terms of that shot that maybe wasn't the best shot selection, but misses it, and then LIU goes the other way in transition, and they turn it over with a wild pass.
50 seconds to go in this third quarter. Fordham has it. Giles-Jones driving from the right wing, out to Shea Harris, top of the arc. She'll drive. No good on her floater. Put back second time for Giles-Jones, no good. Put back third time for Wilson Saltos is good. Hard work offensively on the glass for the Rams, and they get rewarded for it. 47-30, 17-point lead for the Rams over the Long Island University Sharks. 27 seconds to go in this third quarter. Only 30 points given up in almost 3 quarters of play for this Ram team. Legions driving, stopping at the free throw line, pulling up, no good on the mid-ranger. 12 seconds and counting for the Ram offense, moving the other way in transition. Taylor Donaldson moving through the left side of the lane, no good on her layup attempt. It goes out of bounds on the baseline in favor of LIU.
Well, you talk about the amount of points given up, Chris. Such an excellent defensive performance for Fordham. The issues have just come in taking care of the ball on the offensive side, but they've made up for that in this third quarter with their determined attitude to get to the line no matter what, showing a little bit of that elbow grease to expand their lead to 17 points.
47-30 Rams lead. LIU inbounding in the backcourt, trying to get it ahead. More trouble in the backcourt for the Sharks. They throw it out of bounds. More specifically, Patricia Sherrill throws it out of bounds, and the Rams will take it over in the front court once again. Timeout. Coach Brizette Mitchell wants to have some time to draw something out with the last 5 seconds of the quarter available to her. 47-30 Rams lead over the LIU Sharks. Just under 5 seconds to go in this third quarter. We'll be right back with the last play of this third quarter and action from the fourth after this on WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Lou Orlando.
I'm Will Talent.
And I'm Nick Palmer.
Together, we're your New York Yankees reporters for the 2024 season, and we're bringing you coverage of the Bronx Bombers this year from the best beats in baseball.
Don't miss another Aaron Judge home run. Tune into our on-field interviews, live updates.
Back here in the Rose Hill Gym, 5 seconds to go in this third quarter. Rose Nelson inbounds it in the left corner. Taylor Donaldson on the left wing to Shea Harris. Her long three, no good. Rebound couldn't get brought in, and that's it for our first 3 quarters in the Bronx at the Rose Hill Gym. The Fordham Rams with an impressive third quarter, getting their lead out to 17, a 47-30 lead. Fordham Rams leading the LIU Sharks.
Exactly in the position that they want to be in, and you thought it would be because they would clean it up, but it's because they're getting to the line so much. getting points whichever way they can. That's why they have this lead. So they're making up for that, some of that chaotic play with some great performances getting to the free throw line.
That's it for us here after 3 quarters action. We'll come back with 4th quarter action right after this. But first, we'll send it back to the Rose Hill Studios on campus for another one-on-one scoreboard update with Derek Bollier. Take it away, Derek.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Now for the NFL's later game, Seahawks-Cardinals, the Bird teams fighting for the division. This game may decide the division. Every team except the Seahawks have an even record or worse. The Cardinals currently leading 7-3. Bills and Rams, Josh Allen, he's looking to continue his MVP season, pushing towards the number 1 seed in the AFC against the Rams and Matthew Stafford. That game just started, so no score just yet. Another game that just started, Bears, 49ers, rookie Caleb Williams looking to march into San Francisco for a win, while the 49ers look to snap their 3-game losing streak. No score just yet. And a game starting at 8:20, Chargers, Chiefs, a good way to end the night of football. An AFC West divisional game. Chargers look to hand the Chiefs their 2nd loss, push for the playoffs, while the Chiefs try to hold off the Bills for the number 1 seed. Now transitioning over to the hardwood, Bucks, Nets, Giannis and the Bucks coming to Brooklyn, and the Nets look to push towards an even record led by Cam Thomas, currently 37-35 for the Bucks in the 2nd quarter. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Derek Bollier.
Welcome back here at the Rose Hill Gymnasium. Fordham up 47-30. We're going to get back into it, but not before we have a little bit of an update from Griffin Stevenson talking about what Coach Mitchell was saying throughout the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I was going to talk about what Coach Mitchell was saying, but earlier in the 3rd quarter, we saw Taya Davis get her 500th career point. Taya Davis joining the Fordham Rams last season after a brief stint at Decatur City Community College. Came there, got the steal, finished the layup, 500 career points. She was greeted by standing ovation from her teammates on the sideline there. Can't overstate how important she has been. Played the last 28 games of the 2023-24 season. A crucial piece of this offense with her speed and her ability, especially on defense, getting those steals. Congratulations, Taya Davis.
Thank you, Griff Stevenson. Griff possibly be joining us one more time this evening. 47-30 at the end of 3, heading in to the 4th quarter, right before the start of the 4th quarter. I'm Chris Carrino, joined by Ben Oppenheimer, and we touched on it a little bit before going to the break, Ben. This Fordham team really creating more distance on that scoreboard in the 3rd quarter.
Absolutely, and that's because of their strong rebounding performance. They're out rebounding LIU 39-19. Then when you look at points in the paint, it's 24-6. That's because they're getting those second chance opportunities off a 3-pointer miss, laying it back in with the tip in. You know, we're seeing great moments of second chance opportunities that are executed well. And that's also because they're capitalizing off of the lack of defensive intensity on LIU's side inside the paint.
It's going to be Taya Davis receiving the inbound at half court. Dribble handoff to Taylor Donaldson. Back to Taya Davis, right wing. Faking around the Morris screen, then moving right. Back out to Taylor Donaldson. Same spot on the right wing. No good on her 3 offside rim. And now LIU has it in transition. Tried to get it up ahead. Couldn't quite really reach Williams. Now Fordham offense moving the other way. Rose Nelson 1-on-3. She's going to pull it back wisely. And the Fordham offense will reset. Taya Davis calling out a number. Pass to Antoine on the left wing. Then another pass to Rose Nelson in the left corner. Pass to Donaldson in the same spot. Downstairs to Mora. Mora on the left block, moving under the rim, not able to finish. And LIU takes it over again. Segura, dribble handoff to Meade. Meade now has it on the Script Fordham logo. Drifting over to Legions. Legions now has it in the right corner. Pass on the right block. Segura backing down the much taller Antoine. Back out to Williams. Williams pump fakes. Crossover right to left. Getting in the left side of the lane and finishing at the rim. Impressive play there by Janison Williams.
A great first step there, and then that quickness to get into the paint to the basket for 2.
Taya Davis to Chris Antoine on the left wing to Rose Nelson. Rose Nelson back up top to Taya Davis. Taya Davis directing her team to the other side. Chris Antoine on the right wing now. Rose Nelson also on the right wing now. Pass to Taylor Donaldson from the right corner into the right block to Irene Mora. Mora back out on the left wing to Rose Nelson. Rose Nelson crossover right to left. Spinning fadeaway, no good from mid-range. It's going to be a fight for it on the ground. Mora picks it up on the offensive glass and finishes at the rim with the foul. Irene Mora, impressive play, heads-up play, and the Fordham Rams have a 17-point lead now.
Well, it's been a dogfight out there in terms of so many possessions that are just wrestled over the ball, jump balls, fouls, many instances where both teams battling for control, and this time Fordham gets the best as Mora makes her shot after getting the and one. Such a flawless execution of that play, the great effort and intensity, and then converting that into points.
LIU now coming the other way offensively. Rams with a 18-point lead, 50-32, 8:05 to go in this game. Meade receives the dribble handoff, top of the arc, guarded by much bigger Antoine. She drifts over to the left wing, now moving right around a screen, now cutting back left, moving through the left side of the lane, tries to put up a shot, and Carissa Antoine, nice contest at the rim, almost received a technical there, had a little bit something to say afterward, but no real technical foul called, and it'll be taken out under the basket.
Well, you want to avoid getting into
It'll actually be a foul call. Meade will go to the line for two, a chance at 2 free throws at the line. Maybe it was actually a technical foul. We still aren't. Yeah, it's going to be a technical foul. That one on Chris Antoine. I said she had something to say after the block attempt, and it's going to be Meade taking a free throw all by herself in the front court.
Well, you have to keep the emotions under control. A technical foul this late in the game, just unnecessary, helps nobody for this Fordham team as she makes her first there. And, technical fouls can change the momentum. When I was at the New York Knicks game last night, beat reporting, we saw Josh Hart. He got 2 technical fouls that got him ejected. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen in this environment here, but technical fouls are just, they're taboo to get. They're almost like fouling on a three-pointer. Just a horrible thing to do, and something that is not going to make your head coach happy.
Segura inbounded to Mean at midcourt, pass to Williams on the right wing, ball above her head to Legions, top of the arc. Fakes right, then goes right through the middle of the lane, put up a shot right at the front of the rim, no good on her layup attempt, and Fordham Rams would gather it offensively. Taylor Donaldson has it, bringing it up for the Rams. Has it top of the arc between the circles to Rose Nelson on the right wing. She drives baseline side, out to Donaldson left corner, pass to Kayla Berry left wing, drives inside and finishes with the left hand. Pretty ball movement there from the Fordham Ram offense.
And that was not only pretty ball movement, but a pretty finish on that one, just laying it in there with the left.
Meade faking right, moving left, and finishing with the right-handed floater in the middle of the lane. Impressive offensive play there from Gisela Segura. Taya Davis playing up top to Rose Nelson, dribble handoff, Kayla Berry, left wing. Back up top to Taylor Donaldson, skip pass to Taya Davis. Davis looking in the right post inside to Mora, finally gets it there. She finishes at the rim. Nice catch on the roll there from Mora and finish at the rim.
Mora great in the pick and roll, and right there converting that into 2 points, the layup in the paint, and she's got great strength and ability to muscle her way inside for 2 there.
54-36, Rams lead by 18 over the LIU Sharks, 6:18 to go in this fourth quarter. Trying to get to the rim, Segura stripped by Kayla Berry. Kayla Berry now has it the other way for the Ram offense. Tried to get it ahead to Irene Mora, threw it over her head and out of bounds. Another turnover for the Fordham Rams.
Well, some of those negative tendencies from the first quarter still showing some signs of life here in the fourth. Those wild passes over the head, you just have to play under control and not get ahead of yourselves when you're in that sort of situation in transition.
Esty Varga bringing it up for the LIU offense, getting it across half court, guarded heavily by Taya Davis on the left wing, getting it up. Dennis to Williams to Legions. Legions on the right wing, driving to the left side of the lane, back out. Straight on 3 from Dennis is good. Dia Dennis with a 3. She brings LIU within 16, 54-38. Crossover right to left from Taya Davis, driving through the left side of the lane. Bounce pass downstairs to Irene Mora. She finishes. Pretty play from the Fordham offense.
Well, I talked about Davis having such a great ability to read the play. That's not only defensively getting a steal or two, but also on the offensive side, a beautiful pass in the paint.
Legions to Varga. Varga has it on the deep right wing, going left around a Williams screen. Now on the left wing, Mead driving in the middle of the lane and finishing from the left wing. Impressive play there from Mead. Taya Davis not wasting any time, running all the way with LIU defenders. Couldn't quite get the layup to go at the rim. Kayla Berry is on the offensive glass. She gives it to Taya Davis, top of the arc between the circles. To Kayla Berry on the right elbow. Her jumper no good. Rebound by Williams on the defensive glass. It's Varga on the left wing, stopping at the three-point line. She's clearing out the rest of her teammates. Pass to Dennis, top of the arc. Try to get into Legions. She does. Legions has it on the right wing. Legions crossing over right to left at the free throw line. Moving through the left side of the lane. Loses it, and it'll go out of bounds on the baseline in favor of the Rams. A turnover for the Sharks. We're going to take a little break, a timeout for the Fordham Rams. But first, before we take a little break, we're going to send it to our sideline reporter, Griff Stevenson, for another and his final sideline report. Griff, take it away.
Despite the Fordham Rams holding on to a 16-point lead here in the fourth quarter, that has not quieted down their bench or the plans of Coach Bridgette Mitchell. They're still wanting to run their game as well as possible. After every play on the sideline, whether offensive or defensive, everyone on that sideline is cheering on their teammates, getting up, getting animated. We saw it. They care a lot about this, even with the technical foul, hyping up their teammates, keeping their head up. As for Coach Mitchell, she's taking the time to make sure as this game goes on, they're still sticking to what they want, sticking to their game plan, having one-on-one talks on the bench, particularly with her forwards, Irene Mora and Rose Nelson, making sure they're doing their jobs both on the offensive side of the glass and the defensive side. Let's hope the Fordham Rams can hold out here with 4 minutes left to go.
Thank you, Griffin. Yeah, Griff brings up a great point there. It feels like the vibes across from us on the Fordham bench have just been good all afternoon, and that has to be good for a team's success moving forward.
Oh, yeah. Energy can spread if one player is encouraging their team, even if there was a sloppy play or two or something negative happened on the floor. The attitude on the bench has been consistent from all the players, from the coaching staff, of just keep going and things will go their way, and they have gone their way. They're up 16 with 4:29 to go here in the fourth, and particularly when you look at the turnovers. Now, Fordham originally had a lead in the turnovers, but now LIU is taking a lead there. 23 turnovers to Fordham's 20, so sloppy play from both sides, from both teams, but Fordham staying ahead because, particularly talk about fast break, Fordham is outscoring LIU in the fast break 16-6, and then in the paint it just continues. They continue pummeling, punishing them inside. 32-10, Fordham is outscoring LIU in the paint, and then second chance points as well, as you noted earlier today, Chris. 14-4, Fordham taking advantage of all of those aspects of the game, as well as rebounding, as we've noted. And even though they're shooting 38%, which is not great, LIU's doing even worse at 31%. All of those factors I just listed are why Fordham has a 16-point lead with over 4 minutes to go.
And Ben, we talked about it earlier in this game. This Fordham team doesn't have a matchup or a game for that matter for a long time. They have a Cal Berkeley Invitational they'll be heading to in a few weeks. But for the most part, this is the basketball they're going to remember for the longest period of time in this season. They want to end it and head into that break with the best sort of momentum they can possibly have.
Well, it's a great way to leave an impression, not necessarily on any opposing team, but an impression on themselves that they close out this non-conference at-home slate very well. And, you know, they're going to head out to California, which you'll be on that trip. And I'm sure that'll be a great time. And that'll be a test for this Fordham team. But right now, they're taking care of business in the game that they were supposed to, the final one, before they come back for conference play in January.
Absolutely. Taking care of business. Shea Harris on the right wing. Gets it into Omashola on the right block. Back out. Taya Davis on the right wing. Driving through the middle of the paint. Tried to get a bounce pass on the rolling Omashola. It was stolen. And LIU coming the other way. Legions drifts over to the right wing. Giving it to Mead. Mead deep on the right wing. Gonna try and move left. Taya Davis slapping at it. It isn't a backcourt because Taya Davis touched it in the right corner to Varga. Varga pump fakes in the right corner, then puts up the mid-ranger. No good offside rim. Offensive rebound by Williams. Tried to get it out to Meade. Stolen by Shea Harris. Shea Harris going the other way. She'll finish with a right-handed layup. And another turnover and score for this Fordham team.
Harris also adept on the perimeter defensively, showing that read on the pass and just taking it for herself for two in transition.
58-40. Rams lead LIU. 3.5 to go in this fourth quarter. No good on the left wing three from Williams. It's going to be Fordham's offense taking over. Taya Davis in the backcourt, dribbling through multiple LIU defenders. Tried to get a lob pass into Omashola on the other end and couldn't quite reach her. It'll go back the other way in favor of LIU.
It's a little sloppiness there, but that's okay, as most of their play this second half is made up for it. And you know, you're going to have those moments when you get ahead of yourself, but you just have to move on to the next possession, learn from your mistakes.
It's Williams on the left wing. Dribble handoff to Meade, deep on the left wing, guarded by the much larger Mora. Meade calling for a screen, eventually gets it to the right. She'll stop, take a mid-ranger, no good. It'll be a rebound by the Fordham offense. They're pushing. Inside to Mora, on the outlet pass from Taya Davis. She gets it in the right corner to Shea Harris. Shea Harris takes a few dribbles, then takes the mid-ranger and hits. Shea Harris with another bucket. She's been good down the stretch.
That was a beautiful pull-up off the dribble, the mid-range. You got to love it. Old-fashioned, as it looks like. 30-second timeout.
Could stay here. 30-second timeout. As we talked about, a lot of this comes down to momentum. A lot of what these teams want to do comes down to momentum. It doesn't feel like the Fordham Rams can have any more momentum than they have right now.
Absolutely, and you got to keep it going for these final 2.5 minutes, Chris. I mean, I've said before, a lot of times, even if you're leading a game by a lot, if you end on a sour note or on a note where you're letting the other team go on a 10-2 run or something like that, that can bleed into the next game. So you want to make sure that you take care of business all the way till the end, play the full 40 minutes. It ain't over till it's over. That's what Kevin Garnett said. You got to play the full 40 minutes.
Kevin Garnett did not say that.
He did say that.
It was Yogi Berra, for the record.
Well, Kevin Garnett, I believe, was the second.
Only a Met fan would attach "It ain't over till it's over" to Kevin Garnett. Unbelievable, Oppenheimer. I'm truly in disbelief.
Well, we'll talk about your grievances against other New York teams as well.
I mean, that was egregious, Oppenheimer.
Next time, I'll be sure to mention Yogi Berra for you, Chris.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's Legions deep on the right wing for LIU, passing it up top. Straight on three, no good, off back rim for Dennis. Defensive rebound by the Rams. It'll be a blocking foul in the backcourt. I believe that one is going to go on Glenn. Actually, no. That one will go on Segura, Gisela Segura, picking up the blocking foul in the backcourt. 2:14 to go in this fourth quarter. 60-20 Rams with a whole number 20-point lead, their largest lead of the afternoon. To Shea Harris on the left wing. Up top to Kayla Berry between the circles. Berry to Ferguson on the right wing. Back up top, Shea Harris. Shea Harris straight on, jab step, takes the mid-ranger. No good. Air ball there, and it'll go the other way in favor of the Sharks. It'll be Meade taking it up for the LIU offense, going right around a screen, giving it on the right wing, Segura to Legions, same place, right wing, crossover left to right, driving through the middle of the lane, losing the ball, now gathering it on the baseline, out to Meade, left corner, tried to get it to Williams on the left wing, does, back to Meade in the left corner, she's open, no good. Eventually the ball will go out of bounds, and there'll be an argument over who gets it. I believe it'll stay here with LIU.
And Chris, I want to just note, on a side note here is this LIU team. That's right, it is Yogi Berra. You just showed that to me. So I believe Kevin Garnett may have said it as well.
Anything's possible is more connected.
I think I got confused
there.
I
think you did.
So to our listeners, I apologize. I thought it was Kevin Garnett with that quote, as that was a nice block there.
Yeah, beautiful block. Legion's pump fake got in the mid-range, and Omashola blocked it anyway. Ferguson came the other way in transition, missed on a layup, and LIU now has it in transition. Mead passing to Legions on the right wing. She'll jab, step, then drive right side of the lane. Back in the right corner, Williams. She'll take a three. No good. Rebound on the defensive glass by Kayla Berry. 1 minute to go in regulation. 60-40 Fordham Rams lead the LIU Sharks. A travel called there as Kayla Berry was bringing up the ball into the front court. It'll be I believe, a turnover for this Ram team.
And I want to get back to briefly what I was saying with LIU is they have a good amount of international players. You've got Varga from Hungary, Segura from Spain. You've also got Garcina Escribano from Spain, from Madrid, and then another player from Hungary. So it's a great thing for the sport of basketball, for women's basketball, to see all these international players come to the Bronx, come to New York to play the game that they love. You got to love it.
Giles Jones on the right wing, moving left around a Wilson Salto screen. Now Ferguson has it in the same spot. She'll take a spot up three, no good. Ball tipped out all the way to Legions in transition. She'll be by herself on the other end. She'll finish with a right-handed layup. 60-42, 40 seconds left. Rams lead the LIU Sharks. Played up ahead to Giles Jones on the left wing, backing down her defender in the post, taking a turnaround jumper, no good. Ball batted around in the glass, and it'll stay here with the Rams. They'll have a chance under their own basket.
Well, things about to wrap up here. Fordham with an 18-point lead, and they have to be satisfied with the way they've executed in this one.
And an and one under the basket on the inbound, and I'm not sure what the call is going to be here. Believe it's going to count. Not sure. Everyone kind of standing around in a similar metaphor to what I'm doing verbally right now, trying to figure it out. It's going to be a technical foul on Precious Omashola, the second technical on a Fordham player in this game. She'll go to the line, but also receive a technical. Or is taking the technical shot. This is a little confusing.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's a personal foul, if I can hear it from the referee next to me, a personal foul and then a technical foul after the fact. Omashola receiving the technical foul. It'll now be LIU to take the technical foul shots. Precious Omashola at the line taking regular foul shots, and now LIU going to try and cash in on some of Precious's technicals. It'll be Janessa Williams chosen to take them, and she'll make the first. 62-43, 27 seconds left to go in regulation. Fordham leading the LIU Sharks as they take their second from the line and miss. Janessa Williams missing the second. We're still 62-43. Rams lead LIU, 27 seconds left. LIU with the ball. Team receives the ball after a technical foul. It'll be Mead to receive it in the midcourt, and she will. As I said, 25 and counting on the game clock. Crossover right to left, trying to get it on the left wing to Glenn. She does. Drives from the baseline. Stops at the left block. Back out. Segura, pass inside, middle of the paint. Nice nifty post work there. Blocked. Nice play there by Hardy. It didn't matter. Blocked inside. A long outlet pass tried to get made right out of the hands of Wilson Saltos. Out, flying on the baseline of the Fordham Rams. And LIU would get it back with 6 seconds left. Mead bringing it up slowly. That will seemingly be it for us here in the Rose Hill Gym in the Bronx. Fordham Rams picking up the powerful win now, 4 in a row, 62-43 over the Long Island University Sharks. An impressive performance from the Rams, topping off an impressive stretch for the Rams.
Yeah, absolutely what they needed, Chris. You know, they had this great run that started at home versus Siena, where they had such a cohesive offensive performance, getting the shots they wanted, getting the players open that they wanted. They continued that momentum throughout multiple games at Stony Brook, at Yale, and now back here at home, finishing non-conference at-home play in a very strong fashion. They're going to have a lot of time off with finals, and then going to head off to California but this is a great way to end it, even though it's going to be a relatively long pause in play. And the question is, can they keep this momentum that they've accumulated? Can they keep it going deep into some of that California play before conference play starts?
Fordham Rams, impressive start in this non-conference portion of their season. They pick up their 4th straight win in a row against the Long Island University Sharks, 62-43 here at home in the Bronx. As Ben said, this Fordham team will be out of action for a little while. Fordham will have 13 days off before heading across the country to California for a pair of games at the Raising the Bar Invitational hosted by Cal Berkeley. The Rams will take on the host Bears on Saturday, December 21st at 8 p.m. before taking on either Temple or Xavier the following day. That will mark the first trip to Cali for Fordham women's basketball since the 1996-1997 season when the Rams defeated San Diego and Loyola Marymount. So a long hiatus from California. Fordham Rams get to go back there now, and in great form. They are absolutely killing it from a momentum standpoint.
Yeah, and they're really coming into their own. People knew, this league knew, the players knew their defensive potential, their character in that aspect. But when you look at the offensive side of the ball, they've just blossomed over the past 4 or 5 games, really have come into their own. And now it's a full, complete package that we're seeing from this team. They've got the grit, they've got the energy, getting out in transition. They've got the defensive ability. Now their offensive potential is also showing. You know, Taylor Donaldson had 14 points today. Also, you talk about Antoine had 10 points on 5 of 6 shooting off the bench. So a great performance for her and for this team overall, really showing their ability, their talent on both ends, Chris.
Fordham getting the win 62-43 at home on this beautiful Sunday afternoon over the LIU Sharks. As I said, this Fordham team will be back in action on the 21st down at Cal Berkeley against the Bears. That one's at 8 p.m. For me, Chris Carrino, my partner, Ben Oppenheimer, and our sideline, Griff Stevenson, we wish you a great rest of your day from the Rose Hill Gym. Special thank yous to engineer Brigitte Leahy, of course our producer Trey Rodriguez. Fantastic all afternoon long, and we're going to send it right back once again to the Rose Hill Studios for another one-on-one scoreboard update, but also a post-game report from host Kurt Sipple and Derek Bullier. Thank you, everybody, and have a beautiful night.
The one-on-one post-game report.
Welcome in to the one-on-one post-game report. I am Kurt Sipple, joined alongside Derek Bullier. We just saw the Fordham Rams beat the LIU Sharks 62-43. But before we break all of that down, we have a last and final scoreboard update with Derek Bullier.
Yeah, so the Rangers ended up falling to the Kraken 7-5 as their defense struggled a little bit to contain that scoring. Another New York team fell. The Giants fall to the Saints 14-11. Sadly, their game-tying field goal at the end of the fourth quarter was blocked. The Dolphins also defeated the Jets in overtime. The Jets failed to score as they started with the ball in overtime, and the Dolphins ended up scoring a touchdown to end that game. Saquon Barkley breaks the single-season Eagles record for rushing yards as the Eagles ended up beating the Panthers 22-16. Hurts my South Carolina heart. In MLS news, the LA Galaxy defeated the New York Red Bulls 2-1 to win the MLS Cup. The Nets continue to battle the Bucks with Dennis Schroeder leading the team in scoring with 19 points. The score is currently 52-51 at halftime as the Nets lead. The Knicks also play the Raptors tomorrow in Toronto at 7:30 as they look to bounce back from a loss to the Pistons yesterday, 120-111. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Derek Bullier.
Well, Derek, we just saw Fordham continue something that it's pretty special right now. A win streak of 4 games in a row. This is big for the Fordham Rams as they have to wait until the 21st to play again. A lot of practice is going to definitely ensue for these Fordham Rams. But what was your takeaways from this first game tonight for Fordham, 62-43 winning?
Like we talked about during halftime, rebounds were really big, but we also talked about how their turnovers and their fouls were kind of holding them back from really taking charge of this game. But as the second half went on, we saw the turnovers kind of reversed. LIU ended up having more turnovers than Fordham, at least what I have, 24-22. And then the fouls also got a lot better as they ended up about even with fouls at a 14. So we kind of saw them scrap together their mistakes, kind of fixing those a little bit as the game went on, and they kept going what they were doing. They kept their rebounds. They were doing really well with those. They kept doing that. 47 total to 29, 17 offensive rebounds is really big for help, like getting those second chance scoring and keeping that scoring going.
And for Fordham in general today, we also saw a lot more bench scoring as well. The starters were taking advantage of the scoring in that beginning half that we were talking about, that we wanted to see it spread out a little bit more. And in the second half, it became a lot more spread out. We're seeing a lot more people in maybe single-digit numbers, but those are still really impactful numbers that they had. Even Che Harris with the 8 points today that she had with the 2 rebounds. Big numbers for Fordham in general, and also you get good performances from some of your best players. Taylor Donaldson with 14 points, and as well as Carissa Antone, had 10 points tonight. She might not have scored again, but those are just big things that you need for Fordham to stay confident and ready to go, especially when you don't play until the 21st again.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good thing to keep up, especially when you have this long break, with keeping that practice going as well. And it's just a big thing that they did that LIU didn't do, because they had 31 points from their bench. That's half of their scoring. Well, LIU only had 15. That's not a big piece of their scoring. They're relying more on their starters, which can be a good thing, especially when you have stars. But when you're trying to keep that going into the second half, when your stars are getting tired, it's hard to keep that continuing. When you have a strong bench that can score half your points for you, it's good that you can keep your starters fresh and you can keep using them throughout the game.
And today we might not have seen such a explosive performance as we did last week from Arena More, but she scored 9 points tonight and was still pretty impactful. 2 rebounds, filling up the stat sheet just a little bit more. And, for Fordham, while they might not have needed her as much tonight, you know that she has those games where she came here from Detroit Mercy to have games where she can go off and she can be back a little bit and really be a veteran presence for this Fordham women's basketball team. And she's been doing that. And I think that when they play these teams in California in a few weeks from now, she's also going to have big games again. So it's all just so much more up for the Fordham Rams. Even last year at the end of their season, we saw them go on a 6-game win streak, and that momentum pulled them forward, They pulled them forward into the A-10s tournament that year as well. And I just think fully for these Fordham Rams, like I was saying before, momentum is going to play such a large role in how they perform, especially going into conference play at this point. So it's just how long can they ride that momentum, as well as, like Ben and Chris were saying, now being the full package, having the defense, having the scoring, mucking it up on defense like Bridgette Mitchell has been saying all year, last year, this year, trying to do that all, and now they're doing it. So who's going to stop these Fordham Rams?
Exactly. It's just a matter of who stops them and when it happens, as their momentum keeps pushing them forward.
Definitely. And I will now, before we cap off this show, I would like to thank everyone who worked on this show today. We had Trey Rodriguez behind the board. At the engineering spot, we had Bridgette Leahy on engineering. Now moving to the short trip to the Rose Hill Gymnasium, our broadcasters, Griffin Stevenson had those amazing sidelines reports, Ben Oppenheimer on color, and Chris Carrino on play-by-play. For Derek Bullier, my co-host, I've been Kurt Sippel. Bobby Chaffardini is the sports director of WFUV Sports, and women's basketball for Fordham University is a production of WFUV Sports.